Metaverse, very lucky, give up something, master plan, software as a service unicorns in China. I'm very grateful to Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and the movie The Social Network. Builtopia is a software as a service tool that help users to create their own metaverse.
Thank you, Cheng, for joining me. Thank you so much for your time. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And I would love to start this conversation by talking about your early days at Coohom.
Sure.
You witnessed the growth of the company, and I know you were one of the first employees.
Yes.
So what did you learn after 7 years working at that fast-growing company?
Yeah. So Coohom, or Chinese name Kujiale, it is the world's biggest web-based 3D interior design platform. It was founded by a group of computer graphics engineer from Zhejiang University, and it is where I graduated. So it was very natural for me to join Coohom as an early employee because I know the founders back in the university. Yeah, right. Back in the early days, my job was developing different software features like image generation, 3D model file processing, and I was also responsible for maintaining the in-house rendering engine of Coohom. Still now the most important modules and the IPs of Coohom today, the in-house rendering engine. Later on, I was promoted as the team lead and the software architect. And in the early months of 2020, I transferred to lead a business team called Coohom Cloud. So that's the days in Coohom. And what I learned from Coohom, the first thing is I learned how to work as a software engineer. But I think what's the more valuable thing I learned from Coohom was not on the technical side, but on business and management side. Like how to build a software as a service product. What's the pros and cons of a software as a service business model? What problems will strike if the team size grows in a rapid pace? And what's the leadership's reaction towards those problems? These are the very important lessons that I learned during the adventure. But so I think I'm very lucky to join Coohom at an early stage, and Coohom itself grows into one of the few software as a service unicorns in China. That's not the average fate for.
This is something very unique for sure.
That's not the average fate for startups. So I think I'm very lucky, and therefore I think there are many few people have those experience and those lessons learned like I do. Yeah.
And it sounds really great. So you already mentioned that you're coming from the technical background.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, how did you actually transition from being a software engineer to the business unit lead, right? Is it something common for your peers as well? And what are the pros and the cons? You already started talking a little bit about it, but can you give more details?
Okay. First, it's not very common among my peers. I think the decisive factors are what choices you have and what choice you will choose. I think most of my peers do not have those kind of career path choices. And even if they have those choices, they are most likely to choose stay in their old professional area rather than change to another business area. But the good side and the downside are very obvious. I choose to go from a technical background to a position to lead a business team. The good side is I can learn a lot of new areas. I can learn knowledge from different areas. I can talk to different people, different company, and I can know better how this business world works. So that is the good side. The bad side is you must work hard to be a quick learner. You left your old expertise. You are a new hand in some new area, and then you will have to do some things that you do not like, and you must to make some decisions that you do not want to make. But that does not happen when you are a technical engineer. Yeah.
That's quite interesting. And you say some people prefer actually to stay in the old positions, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to know, what does it take to make that leap, that change, that step up?
Yeah.
Is it probably your circumstances is just the company required that situation, or maybe it's just your personal traits and feelings? What do you think? What's in your opinion happening?
So what happened to me is that I worked hard and worked smart to earn those choices. So and I chose that choice intentionally. Because I have a master plan for my career, and I just want to stick to that plan. Then, so overall, it's a matter of you must give up something to gain another thing. Yes, I just think this the math works, and I want to gain that thing. So I choose to change my career path. But I think when other peers, most of my peers facing this problem, they do not have the desire to change their career path, or they do not have the strong desire to get what they want. So they may stay to their own old expertise. Yes.
Which is not bad at all, right?
Yeah. Which
of
is,
course, I mean,
those are just different choices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your current company. I think all these approaches and experiences actually help you to start your own business, right?
Yeah.
But I want to know, what's the story behind the Builtopia? Why did you decide to found the company? And what's actually Builtopia?
Okay. So first, what is Builtopia? In one sentence, Builtopia is a software as a service tool that help user to create their own metaverse. Yeah. But the story can trace back to my high school. In my high school, I attended the coding club or the coding association. So I found I'm quite talented in coding. That's where I find my interest. So I love coding and I love science fiction back in my high school, and that's why I chose software engineering as my major in Zhejiang University. Okay, so in the university, I watched a movie called The Social Network. It's a story of how Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook. I was quite touched by that movie. That by that time, I decided my career plan, or the cause of my life, is to start a startup in the future using my technical skills.
So this is the opportunity to say thank you to Mark publicly.
Yeah. I'm very grateful to Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and the movie The Social Network. Yeah, it changed my life. Yeah, really. But when the graduation come, my thought was, I'm not resourceful enough and I'm not skillful enough to start a business right after college. Therefore, my plan was to find and join a small startup to learn how they do the startup, to learn everything, to do the startup better. And when the opportunity come, I can leave the company and start my own startup. So that's the master plan, and I am just following the master plan all these years. Yeah.
It looks like you have planned for everything. This is very interesting and very fascinating.
During the adventure in Coohom, I choose to change my career path from a backend developer to a developer team manager and a product manager, and then a business team manager. Then I go over all these positions, and I have a deeper understanding of how this software as a service, like business life cycle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, I found that Metaverse, the VR, XR, and the NFT, they are all booming. And my expertise, my technical skill can do something valuable in this area. And I think this is finally the opportunity, the chance that I have waited for many years. And by that time, Coohom is a famous startup. Yeah, it can give me some backup for my career path. So I left the company, and I started this Builtopia to bring 3D design software into Metaverse area. Yeah.
Very well planned and opportunity meet each other,
Yes.
and that's how Builtopia happens.
Yes.
Amazing. Creation, engagement, branding in the Metaverse. So
Yes.
those are the three things that Builtopia is helping out users
Yes.
with. Can you elaborate more on the issues that you're trying to solve for the users of the Metaverse?
Yeah, so the Metaverse is indeed a very exciting area, and there are many companies involving in this area, but there are a lot of issues that we are facing. So the first of all, the cost to enter Metaverse is very high for now. For example, if a company wants to do an enterprise level Metaverse space, the cost it starts up at 100,000 RMB per space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it can go all the way up to millions of RMB. I think that's a cost that the thousands of small and medium-sized business cannot offer. So, if you are a small and medium-sized business, you have no choice. You are no luck. You do not have the needed tool or method to enter to the Metaverse. So that's what we Builtopia want to solve. So
Mhm.
first thing is the cost, lower the entry bar in the Metaverse. Yeah, and the second thing is how much the enterprise would have control or ownership of those Metaverse space. For example, if you are a big company, you build a Metaverse space in Baidu Xirang, and your user will have to download the Baidu app and register as a Baidu user, and then you go to Baidu Xirang. You can see a lot of different Metaverse space. They may come from your competitor, and after browsing the list of the Metaverse space, your user can go into your Metaverse space. That is very painful. Basically, it's you paid a lot of money, then your user needs to register to a third-party platform and possibly see your competitor's content, and then go into your Metaverse space. That's not the ideal way of how the business, how the enterprise do their Metaverse, right? So these are the two problems that we want to solve the most. Mm-hmm. Therefore, our approach is that we just develop a tool for the users, for the enterprise, to create their Metaverse easily, and they can embed their Metaverse into their website, into their apps, with their domains, with their logo, with their brand. and their users can register directly into their platform, not our platform. Yeah. So and all this stuff can happen at a low cost, right? That's the key features that we provide, and that's the main problems that we want to solve.
And the follow-up question would be, you're talking about the low cost. So how do you achieve the low cost?
Okay. There are many cost sectors to build a metaverse space for now. For example, first is the modeling cost, the designing cost, and then the engineering cost. You need to be a Unity engineer or a game engineer to set up all the game logic or all the 3D logic. You need to be a modeler to create the avatars, the different buildings in the metaverse. We want to minimize that cost. Yeah. So to the modeling and the designing part, we provide a web-based designing tool with a rich library with different objects, avatars, buildings that you can use without modeling. You can just drag and drop to put those things in the editor, and then embed all of them into a 3D space. And when you save the space, you will have a web link for other people to go directly into that metaverse. The user do not need to download the app or have a very powerful computer or VR headset. They can just open WeChat or their Safari browser to go into that web link, to go that URL. So by that means the enterprise do not need to hire a modeler, do not need to hire a Unity engineer. That's why we lower the cost of building a metaverse. Right?
Interesting. So since you're already talking about the metaverse, I would love to know how different the metaverse scene in China from the one that in the West. Who are the big players here in China? Yeah. And also, how is it likely that we are going to achieve the metaverse interoperability?
Okay. So talk about the big players. There are big players in China like I just mentioned Baidu Xiliang and NetEase Yaotai. Okay. And there are some of other medium-sized players in this area. In the West, we have Roblox, Decentraland, and Meta, Facebook's Horizon World. There are some medium-sized and vertical platforms in West called On Cyber and Spatial. They are vertical in NFT and the fashion space. Yeah, these are the famous players. The difference is, I think the difference now is big because the Chinese metaverse industries are followers, and the West metaverse players are the leaders. The Chinese players lags behind mostly on the product quality and the content quality. Yeah, and so basically, if you are a Chinese user or a Chinese enterprise, you need to pay more for a less quality product. Yeah, that's the main difference now.
Okay. And you already talked about the different metaverses, right? So are we going to have bridges between them in the future? What's your personal opinion?
Yeah, that's a question of interoperability. So in very different science fiction movies or novels, there's a huge metaverse platform or a company that controls everything. Yeah, but I think the reality won't go to that step. For now, I think there are many different size platform, metaverse platform, and creator tool, but they are not connected. For now, they are all isolated systems. Yeah, I think for us, one of our mission is to build the connectivity, the interoperability. For example, we cooperate with a European company called Ready Player Me to provide a high quality avatar infrastructure in the metaverse. So the users, if they have created their own avatar in other platform using Ready Player Me account, when they first log into our system, if they connect their Ready Player Me account to this, our system will download their avatar in Ready Player Me and shows this avatar on the first time they log in. So that's an example of interoperability, because they do not need to make another avatar in our platform. They just use what they have already built in other platforms. Yeah, so that's a way of achieving interoperability.
But that takes the partnership agreements, right, between the companies, between the platforms.
Yes.
So I think at the large scale, it's unlikely to happen. So it's going to be still probably groups, unities.
I think the steps to achieve the greater interoperability is that, or the greater connectivity is that different groups of company, different fashion of the company connect with each other, and then larger groups connect with each other, and then most of the players connect with each other. I think that's the probably step. And some of the stubborn platform may stick to I'm the own isolated system, but the users can vote. The users can leave that platform, and the users will want to use the platforms that are connected together.
Interesting, right? I think we're going to see that happening in the near future. We're all going to witness that.
Yes.
And probably to wrap up the conversation, I'd love to ask you the last question. If you look at the bigger scale, what are the big challenges? Probably some of them you already mentioned, but so what are the big challenges for the whole industry? And also for the metaverse startups, and including yours?
Yeah. Okay. So the main challenges. First challenge, I think, is that the metaverse is a small and early industry. It's in an early stage. It needs a large amount of money and resource to invest. But the economy is against us. You know, for the stock market, the VC market. The situation is bad now, and we know the bad time is in the future. So.
But I'm sure you have the plan.
Yeah. So every company in this area should pay much attention to manage their cost, to improve their productivity, and at the same time keep progress. That's very important, because the metaverse is very potential, but your company cannot survive to see its end. So that's no use. So that's the big challenge for now. And the second big challenge, I think, is for the users and for the enterprise, there are not much information or not much proof to calculate the value you can gain from the metaverse for now. Yes. And that is differ from different sectors. If you do this, if you are a online event host, then the ROI is very straightforward. Under this pandemic situation, you cannot host that event offline, so you can only host it online, or you just do not do it at all. So that ROI is straightforward. But for those like 3D metaverse branding, we still need many information for the decision makers to know how much I gain from using 3D content over using 2D content. So that is not straightforward, and we do not see much statistics proof on that. So, but we have good partners and clients. We are trying to test out the statistics to prove that Metaverse 3D branding or event or meeting can do better or can have a efficiently ROI over the traditional way. Yes.
Interesting. So I think it's something that at the moment is still very, very raw, right? And we need more data, we need more proof, we need more case studies to make sure that people actually know why it is, what it is, right? Why we are using it, and how it's going to help our business in the future. Thank you so much for your sharing. I look forward to exciting stuff coming out of Builtopia in the future. And I guess I'm going to see you very soon in the Metaverse.
Yes. And now Builtopia.io is open for register, so everyone can go to our website and try out our
Perfect. I tried it out, the demo one, it was amazing, so I hope more people can also try it out and use for their businesses. Thank you so much. That was the episode with Cheng Fu. Thank you so much, and we see you next time. Please like, share, comment.